This is Groove Talk with Froggy Style.
Welcome to another episode of Groove Talk, everybody. On this episode, I am joined by Meadow Drive, the band.
That is correct.
Yes. So I guess just to start off, could you guys maybe introduce yourselves and tell us a little bit about the band?
Yeah. Yes. Matt, what do you play?
I'm Matt. I'm the drummer. Yeah, a little bit about it.
I don't know, a little bit about you. He just plays drums.
Yeah.
That's all.
Basically.
Drummers.
You know how drummers are.
True. Yeah, I'm Charity. I do lead vocals, I guess, and yeah, I'm in the band Meadow Drive, which is fun, as you know.
Yeah. I'm Jenna, and I play bass and sing sometimes, and
also played keys on our EP.
Keys on the EP as well, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And
and I'm Daniel. I play the guitar.
Love that guitar.
Awesome. So I guess maybe could you give us a little bit of background information on the band? Like, when did you form? How did you guys all meet and stuff like that?
Yeah, I'll take this one. So Jenna and I, and Jenna and Matthew are brother and sister actually. So we've actually, our families have known each other for years. So we've known each other for a really long time. Jenna and I were in a couple random trios back in the day together. And then I think about a year and a half ago, we were like, yo, let's actually make this something we want to do and kind of take it more seriously, I guess. 2 weeks before we said yes to a gig, Matthew joined us on drums, and then we found Danny through another guitar player who used to play with us as well. So then we pulled Danny into the mix, and then, yeah, basically played a gig after 2 weeks of knowing each other. And then, people were like, wow, how long have you guys been playing together? And we were like, 2 weeks. So, and then we just decided it was a good sign if people were saying that to us. We kept the band like this, and yeah.
Awesome.
I guess that's basically free, right?
Yeah. That's our history.
There it is.
Very exciting.
So you said, so about a year and a half ago you guys kind of came together?
Yeah, I think that gig we played was August 2019, yeah.
I guess you got some show experience and stuff in before the whole pandemic thing happened.
Not a lot, but
yeah.
It's 2 shows and then
yeah.
things fell apart.
Basically.
Yeah. No, I mean that's pretty. I mean, I talked to a band and they actually formed in February of 2020.
Oh dang.
Yeah. So they played one show and then haven't played a show since together. So.
That's brutal.
Yeah.
So I guess how do Meadow Drive songs come together then? What's your writing process like?
Jenna?
Oh gosh. I feel like we don't really have a standard writing process, but a lot of the time it's usually Jared and I together, and we just often one of us has an idea. Typically it's a bass line or something or just a drum groove or something that we think is cool, and then we sit at a piano together often. She feeds me snacks and brings tea and keeps me focused, and then together somehow we form things together. Often the lyrics are kind of it's kind of the last thing we do often. Mm-hmm. We write them a lot just based on consonants and vowels and stuff that we think sound cool. Is it more of the voice is more of another instrument rather than the songs kind of revolving around the actual lyrical content of what the song is. And then once we kind of have a base structure of what the song is, usually there's some line, whether it's the drum groove is going to be this or the bass line is going to be this for the main part of the song, and some sort of harmonic structure, and then we bring it to these boys and we're like, okay, Danny, can you play something super clean and crisp, but no higher than that? And actually, you know what, this song, can you play with that tone, but then this other rock song is completely unrelated, can you play that rhythm? And then and Matthew, just do something and then I'll tell you when it's right. There's a lot of reference to a lot of different songs or artists or whatever
genres,
but we often pull weird things from each one. It'll be, we want the tone from this song, but we actually want the groove from this song, and the you know, the overall theme from this song or whatever, and that's how we attempt to get our point across to each other, because we don't really write specific parts for each other, but often have each other's like playing styles in mind. Like often I'll write things, or both of us will write things for each other and be like, "Oh, this is gonna be hard for you, so I'm gonna write this," but it's also gonna suit your voice, or it's gonna suit Danny's guitar playing style, or like Matthew's drumming style. So I'm gonna like focus on whatever your unique strength is, and that's kind of how we weirdly sound as a cohesive band by playing very individual styles.
Yeah.
Awesome. So you would say that, like, as you are writing the song, you kind of have like an idea in your head what you want the finished product to sound like?
Yeah, I think so.
Hopefully you do. I never do. I have a really hard time finishing things, so that's where Chair comes in a lot of the time, because I come up with a bunch of ideas and then she's like, no, we need to finish this. Okay, what do you want to do next? Where should we go from here? Should we add another verse?
Yeah.
So, yeah. Often have like a sound in mind, but not really a very cohesive thought of like layout of this song, I guess. Is probably
Yeah.
often.
Oh, I was just gonna say, once we start jamming it together, like it definitely progresses into something, like something different happens, or like Danny will play something that we like more than our idea. So that also happens a lot as well.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So you guys said that you kind of draw from a lot of different genres and stuff like that. So I'm just kind of wondering what maybe some of your influences are. What kind of music are you listening to, and I guess, yeah, what are your influences?
I feel like, would that be beneficial to answer like individually?
Probably, yeah. Yeah, I'm sure they're very different.
Yes, they are.
There's a lot of, I listen to this, but my influences for our band is also this. But yeah, what are some of your main influences?
Like for singing?
Yeah, for singing.
Because I feel like for singing and then also for like writing stuff is different as well,
Yeah.
which is kind of annoying. I don't know. This is a hard question.
Start listing things.
It also depends on like I'll listen to a lot of something and then I'll like move on from that as well. But a genre I always listen to is like 80s disco and like 80s pop. I love stuff like that. I love like groovy like old R&B soul and stuff, which I listen to a lot. But I also
for like Hold Up, like Stevie Wonder and Chic.
Yeah, Chic
and
stuff.
a lot of like those guys were a really big influence on like our single Hold Up, but they also had very little influence on the rest of like our EP, because we kind of were like, oh yeah, okay, let's do something different now.
Yeah, well, enough of that. Yeah, but yeah, so I like a lot of that kind of genre. I like, what else? Oh man, I'm like blanking because I'm under pressure now. Now I don't know what I
Matthew,
listen
who do
to.
you listen to regularly? Who inspires your drumming?
Oh, that is a very, very good question. I listen to a lot across the board. Mostly, I guess, would be like, I find a lot of metal drummers to be very good and very interesting to pick out stuff from them. So I look at more the actual drummers than, I guess, and just kind of pick out different things from their songs. And then also the older 80s rock and stuff like that, there's some really interesting stuff from there. But then also like a lot of jazz stuff, a lot of like, I guess like Dream Theater and stuff like that, you get a lot of interesting from that. So it's just kind of a lot of
Just everything.
Just kind of everything. Like I kind of go through and I'm like, oh, I like that groove or that sound out of that, and kind of pick things apart from all kinds of different genres. I don't really have a specific one that I normally would listen to. It's just kind of all over the place. I'm like, yeah, I don't really like that out of that genre, but I really like this that they do.
You nailed it. That's basically what I was stumbling around trying to say too. Because like I listen to, like, I have some favorite singers, and like, you know, one of them is like the singer of Tool, and you're like, that doesn't incorporate us at all. But like his style is so unique and it's really cool. And then you get like, you know, there's a disco band called Starpoint. I love that singer so much. She's like amazing. And then you get like, you know, like I listen to Lady Gaga sometimes too. She's got like an amazing voice. So it's like that same kind of thing whereby it's like, if I like something they do, then I'll incorporate that into my style as well.
Yeah.
Thank
like
you,
a lot of
Matthew.
bands, like a lot of funk bands like Wolfpack. They're like a big influence, I think. But just in probably the biggest thing that we take away from listening to their stuff is just the part writing and how each instrument, like what they're playing, isn't necessarily something crazy, but it's like a specific part. And when you layer those all together, how they kind of weave together and stuff. I listen to a lot of bands like that. I sent Matthew a lot of. I'm like, okay, listen, at this point in time, listen to this Alan Stone song because this beat is really cool, and you're gonna play it sometime at some point.
Or just randomly, we should put cowbell in here.
Also that.
And we did. It sounded good.
Danny?
Yeah, I've got a few. Like, I don't know if a lot of my influences are even what I listen to necessarily. I think that I listen to a lot of country music, and some blues, which I don't know if country probably doesn't come through in my playing at all. But one of my favorite guitarists actually talked about basically playing the guitar almost as if it's a vocalist singing, and I think that's something that kind of resonates with me. Again, I don't know if that really comes through in my playing, but that's kind of what I try to think about when I'm playing, and so I just think that's really cool because I've always been really into actually listening to like the melody of whoever is singing and what they're singing. So yeah, that's just kind of something I'm into, but I can't sing, so.
That's a lie. A lie.
Yeah, no, it's really cool that you said that because one of my favorite guitarists as well, Peter Frampton, does something very similar. He uses like the talk box and stuff, and I saw him live one time, and he did this cover of Black Hole Sun, and it was entirely instrumental, but like he was making the guitar sound like the words, so it's like you could see the words through the guitar, which was really cool.
Oh, that is cool.
Yeah. So there's a lot to unpack there, but I guess what would you, classify Meadow Drive? What genre would you classify it as then? I know this is like every musician's least favorite question, so we might as well just get it out of the way.
We were hoping you could answer.
Kind of actually happened.
Have we ever settled on anything?
We've never. Well, we sound a lot like the genre acid jazz, but also not quite. So that's our answer.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like in today's music, it's like you just kind of throw a couple genres together, and then like that's what genre you are. Like you kind of most bands I talk to kind of have to like define their own genre. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, we sure do.
Yeah, because I listened to your guys' EP and it sounds like
This is our problem.
It's like I think I made an Instagram post about it. It's like 50s lounge music meets modern rock or whatever. And I think that's the best way that I could describe it, probably.
It's very accurate.
You did a great job.
Yeah.
You did a great job.
So we were just like prog jazz. And we'll just call ourselves that.
It's very interesting music, and I was actually very pleasantly surprised when I listened to your guys' EP for the first time. I just kind of on the surface I saw a 4-piece band. And anytime I see like a local 4-piece band, I just assume that they're going to be playing like some version of like punk music. So I listened to you guys, and you guys are so not punk music.
Which is funny because Jenna's favorite bands are punk. So
Yeah. I mean, it's just like it was so different and so awesome and like so pretty in a way, and like it was like I said, I was pleasantly surprised the first time I listened to it.
Thank you.
That's good.
Glad to hear that.
Yeah. So I guess just like on the subject of the EP, I guess how did this EP come together?
Danny, what's your take on how the EP came
Yeah,
together?
you laughed, so you have to talk now.
Well, I was laughing because we were still writing songs on the way to the studio to record the songs. So 5 minutes before we recorded. No, it was good. I think we were writing some songs, and I think we were writing more for, just so we'd have more to play at shows and that kind of thing. And I'm not even sure if any of the songs that we were writing ended up on the EP.
I think one,
but we got
Go Salesman.
Oh yeah, that's
Yeah,
right.
it ended up on there.
And but I don't know. We were just kind of writing for more material, and then Jenna and Charity, I think, kind of brought up the idea.
We were
like,
tired
hey, we should record. We have nothing else to do. Like we can't play any shows. So
Yeah,
we
and
might as well record, and that'll help us get some more shows.
Exactly,
and that kind of thing. So I think that was kind of the main purpose of it. Correct me if I'm wrong.
No, that sounds about right.
And being able to be like, oh, we don't really know what type of music we play, but you can listen to us, and then you'll have an idea of what we actually sound like.
Yeah, like when we're getting gigs and stuff.
Which is
If
beneficial.
we ever play gigs again.
Yeah.
We will.
Sorry.
Yeah. So we kind of were like, well, let's just do it. Like we put this off for a long time. We've kind of
Yeah, and I feel
wanted
like
to for a while.
we had also just like finally settled in like found kind of the best way that we all can play together, and like I don't know, it just had kind of like settled into something like for real this time, and I was like, oh, this actually is like kind of how Jenna and I have always wanted a band to sound that we were like a part of. So it definitely was just like it was just kind of time as well, I think, because we're like, this is a good timing because we have some great members, and it's like kind of have a sound that we were going for all along. So it's
Cool. You'd actually be surprised at how many bands book studio time and then are writing on the way to the studio. You know what I mean? Like, it seems to kind of be like a common theme amongst bands.
We had an interesting time because Matt was working out of town for like the months and months leading up to it. So we had a couple weekends to be like, okay, well, here's our unwritten songs that we now have to finish writing and learning so that we can go into the studio and recording. And by the way, Matthew, you're recording a drums first. So that was a pretty experience. I think a lot of stuff just happened. We're like, well, we'll take that take and then we'll take it home and listen and find out how the song actually ended up playing out. But which was actually really fun for us because it was more organic in a way, with a lot of the random little things in the songs and little fills and stuff that were added or taken out just because of how we recorded it and how almost unrehearsed somehow we were.
So was that all of your first times in the studio, or have you been in the studio with other projects before? Or
well, in like a real studio.
Yeah.
We've
Probably.
been in a studio before.
Oh yeah, we had. I forgot.
Once or twice.
Yeah, like not very experienced at all.
But
though.
pretty much you could say it was our
Yeah.
first time.
And I've played around with some like recording stuff, but not actually recording for an EP or something like that.
We haven't made.
We had a kind of general idea, but it's very different when you actually go and do it. So
Yeah, you walk in the door, you get everything. And you're like, oh, whoops.
Like I actually don't.
I did
sing.
bring my bass, right?
I guess what's maybe one of your favorite parts about being in the studio like that?
I love that time just like stops and you just kind of get to be there and like do music, and when you have a cool idea it's like, oh, let's do that instead and let's just throw this, and it's just like, and then the camaraderie.
Yeah, I don't know how to say that.
When you're all together having a good time, just being able to be there together and create something and kind of be in your own little world is, even if it's only for a couple hours at a time or whatever, it's a really cool experience. And then have something like polished and clear and have a final product at the end instead of having the excuse of not finishing things because, but when you go in the studio, you kind of have to come out with something. So it's cool to have like that deadline of we need to finish something, but at the same time, you have a lot of time to just play around with things as well.
Mm-hmm. Danny, do you have a favorite part?
I think that it was really awesome because leading up to recording, like we booked the studio and I think we weren't even sure necessarily what was going to be on the EP. We had like a few options, and so we were just practicing like a ton, and I think that we all agree that we were probably we're in our best shape at our instruments.
That's true.
Basically, like during that time, and we're just so that was really exciting, and obviously anticipation of being in the studio, and then you're finally there, and it's awesome to hear, once it's all finished, just kind of all your hard work paying off, and it's really cool to be able to hand your CD or your EP to your friends and say like, yeah, give it a listen, like, tell me what you think and that kind of thing. It's just really rewarding, and like Jenna was saying, it's fun. I'm just kind of hanging out, and Grant at Audio House was really awesome.
Yeah.
And and when we had Daniel come in and play sax, like that just it was so much fun just watching and listening to him, rip for a few takes on our songs. So yeah, just it was a lot of fun. And
yeah, shout out to Daniel Pelton for playing sax on the last track on our EP, and Grant at Audio House for being like the best at what he does, and having a really cool studio that we can hang out in, and
and being so good at his job, but also like so fun to like hang out with,
putting up with our shenanigans.
Yeah, there was a lot of shenanigans, but
Matthew, do you have a favorite part?
It was just super fun to be able to go in and have a really focused time of we're trying to get this done, but also having a ton of fun doing it. And it was great recording there. He was so chill and easy to record with, and if we had something that didn't work properly, it was do it again. But it was just so much fun to do that together, and I think it really helped us all as to play tighter together, and really pick the parts out and go, yes, this is what we want in this section, instead of just kind of playing it and going, it works.
That's a good point.
The iPhone didn't pick it up as sounding bad, so we'll go with that.
I feel like sometimes it's beneficial to have like those deadlines, whether it be studio time or like just like self-imposed deadlines, or maybe a show coming up or something like that. Because at least for me personally, if I don't have deadlines, I will like just jam into eternity. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I feel like, kind of setting deadlines and goals as a band or as an individual is very beneficial to actually help get things done.
Like Danny said, like when we knew we were recording, like all of us like stepped up our game like to no end.
Yeah.
And like by the time we got in the studio, I was like, you guys got like really good all of a sudden. And then I was like, I have to keep up. So I started practicing more because everyone got better than me.
Nobody wanted to be the weak link, so we all like worked our
so that actually worked out really well. Yeah.
It definitely shows through the music, because just the way that all the songs sound, it seems like it's all improvised. You know what I mean? It seems like it's just kind of you're playing off of each other in a way that like makes it sound kind of like raw and like almost like jammy in a way, but it's obviously not because it's recorded. So
it's cool. Thanks.
So I'm actually kind of curious, I guess, how does a live show look for you all? What does a Meadow Drive live show kind of seem like?
Well, now that we've
it's
released
probably
our
changed
EP,
a lot now.
I think it's going to look a lot different than what it did. Before we were just like, I don't know what we're doing. Quick, write a song. Quick, finish writing this part. We have a show tomorrow. But now that we actually have like a decent like repertoire and songs that people recognize, like I think it's gonna be really cool for sure. Yeah. But we're definitely gonna have to work that out if we ever have a show again. So I guess the answer would be we're not sure anymore because we've already kind of changed stuff up a little.
But we definitely like jam together a lot more now. So there's a lot of places in our songs when we're just hanging out practicing and stuff where it's like a lot easier for us to just jam random sections, and then somebody looks at somebody and goes into the next section, and then we're back on track with the song. And
that's kind of cool.
Works better in a live setting, yes.
Yeah, I guess it's kind of maybe a strange question to ask, since you probably haven't played a live show in like a year.
More actually.
I think our first show we'd been playing together for like 2 weeks, so it wasn't really a good Yeah, it was kind of
That was like just play
chaotic and
without messing up too badly.
Yeah.
And then I guess our second one would have been like a couple months after that. So we'd been playing together, and
4
that one was a
months.
lot more thought out, and we had a lot more kind of together for it.
Yeah, and also that we had to write we had like 45 minutes, and we were like, we do not have 45 minutes of music.
Yeah.
So we also like added some random covers like a couple weeks before and stuff too. So
Do you remember what your last show was before this whole thing kind of started, or?
It was Gravity.
yeah, it was at Gravity Cafe, and we played with this awesome Edmonton band,
Back Bruce.
Back Bruce. Yeah, yeah, and that was the one when we're like, we don't have enough material for 45 minutes. Yeah, we figured it out.
Yeah.
That led to us doing a cover of Paramore because
That's
that
true.
fits our sound.
Why not?
Nice. I guess besides the obvious not playing shows and stuff, how has the pandemic kind of maybe affected the band and your output, I guess?
I think like not being able to play shows is a big one because I think you gain a lot of experience. Like you can practice on your own all you want, and you can practice together as a band all you want.
So
but
true.
there's nothing like the experience of playing a live show, and nothing that teaches you more than trying to play a live show or trying to, and you have like a 5-minute turnaround and you're trying to switch things out and like hope that you can hear things you need to hear, and then get up and just have to do your best and play things, and things inevitably go wrong. And I think you grow a lot as a musician in a band when you're able to do that, but not being able to do that over the pandemic has definitely been
A hindrance.
But at the same time, like recording and having the time and being like, well, okay, then when we go back and play live shows, we'll just be even better than we ever thought we could. So we'll just practice our butts off by ourselves and try and do as much of that as we can.
Mm-hmm.
We haven't had the rush of like the deadlines to be like, we need to prep for this show. So we've had a lot more time to be able to like work on, I guess, certain songs and go through that kind of a lot more, but there's not the same experience of actual live shows. So.
At the same time, we don't have the deadline of shows, so then we can be a lot lazier.
Yeah. So I feel like we've become a lot tighter in some areas and work together a lot more, but then also if something goes wrong, we just kind of stop and deal with something else or whatever. Whereas like you're in a live show setting, you can't really just stop and not do anything. So
we have a lot of stuff doesn't have starts and finishes because somebody just starts playing something. We're like, okay, we'll play that song, and then just keep playing. So there's a lot of unfinished things because we don't have deadlines from shows and stuff like that. But we've been fortunate enough to be able to practice a lot during the pandemic and have big spaces where we're able to actually do that, even with all the restrictions and stuff like that. So, and all of us being like our jobs and stuff, being able to make that work somehow for the most part over this time has been a blessing for us as a band, being able to still continue to do that together.
Awesome. What are some of the biggest challenges, maybe whether it be personal or whatever, in having a band like this? Just is there anything that kind of keeps you guys from playing together other than, I guess, pandemic stuff? But
I'd say the biggest challenge is defining our genre.
I don't actually like hanging out with them.
I was going to say,
really hard
none of us are actually friends.
They're really dumb. And they have no sense of humor.
Yeah, I don't know.
You guys Matthew working out of town definitely caused us some problems, and
there was a while that Danny was
doing a
working
job.
like 7 days a week, so we never saw him.
But other than that, we all like each other quite a bit, I think, to a certain extent. It's pretty sappy.
Say cheese.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Oh,
Don't
gosh.
be weird about it.
Don't give people the wrong idea. We have a good time hanging out together, and so we kind of all always want to make time to hang out together, and doing music together is something that we really enjoy together. So that definitely, we don't have that challenge, I guess.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I don't know.
Yeah, I forgot your question, to be completely honest. I'm so sorry.
That's funny.
Something along those
I was trying to
lines.
come back to it, but no, yeah.
I feel like it's sufficiently answered anyway. So
Okay. Yeah. Oh man.
I guess going back to the EP, do you all have like a personal favorite song off of the EP, or?
I would like to know this answer for
Oh,
everyone
no.
else.
I feel like I have different favorite parts of different songs. Like I love Matthew's drumming in that last song, Vindication. I love just listening to the drums in that song. And then like I love Jenna's bass. Well, I guess Hold Up isn't technically on the EP. Unless you buy the physical copy.
Hey,
It's on the bonus track.
or
So
buy it on Bandcamp. It's
Or on
also
Bandcamp.
as a bonus track.
that's a quick plug for, give us
For
your
this
support.
awesome band.
Yeah. Anyway, so I love like the bass on Hold Up, and like I love Danny's guitar in Save Me and stuff. So I don't think I have a favorite. I just have like a lot of different parts of the songs that are my favorites.
What's your favorite vocal?
Ooh.
Oh. I like Jenna singing and
Okay.
the harmonies. The harmonies. No, I don't know. They're all hard to sing, so I'm just glad I pulled it off.
That's fair.
I don't know if I have a favorite. I'm trying to think.
Oh, we'll
They're
circle
all
back.
so
Daddy, what about you?
Yeah, I think my favorite is probably the last track, Vindication. Daniel killed it, and I don't know. It's just it's just some easy listening. I'm a big fan, and yeah, that's probably like overall. I really liked. I mean, yeah, the other ones are all a lot of fun. Like my personal favorite really to play would be Snake Oil Salesman. It's just kind of fun,
That was a fun one.
and we've been playing that one for the longest, so I think that is probably the one where probably the tightest on.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. And then actually, Charity's vocal on "Save Me" is so good, and yeah, the bass throughout the whole thing.
Mhm.
Everyone did really well. That's true. Yeah, I think my favorite's probably Vindication.
Nice.
I like it.
Nice.
I like it a lot. Nice one. Do you have a favorite?
I always think I have a favorite, and then I go through all the lists, and I'm like, no, actually, I don't know.
It changes.
I think if I had to pick a favorite, I think Counterfeit Ending might be my favorite.
That one came
Which is
together
really
so
funny
nicely.
because
That
I
is
was
really
so
funny.
mad at that song for so long.
She was.
And also that Vindication was like my baby forever, and
Yeah.
somehow it's not my, but I really do love that song too. So
Mhm.
I think Counterfeit Ending is probably, I'm just gonna say Counterfeit Ending is my favorite song on our EP.
Putting your foot down on the record.
You said you were mad at the song. Why were you mad at the song?
Yes, Jenna. Why? Tell us why.
I have a tendency to, I hate writing love songs or anything like that, which is fine because we don't need to, but for some reason I felt like I started writing the song and I had a completely different lyrics written, and it was almost like the song was almost written,
Yeah, you
and
had
the
all
lyrics
the
were
verses
completely
and
different.
stuff.
Yeah, like verses, everything was laid out perfectly, not a word needed to be changed, and I just hated it.
And then I came along.
And this is why we're a good team. Jared came in and she's like, no, scrap those. You don't like them. Get rid of them and rewrite it. I was like, I'm not rewriting the whole song.
But then I made her.
But we did. And now I love it. And
Yeah.
I'm like super stoked about the way it turned out.
Yeah.
And it really
Did a
I think
great
it
job.
changed the sound of the song as well once the lyrics were changed as well.
Mhm.
Because it was a very different vibe and a very different theme.
Yeah.
And also the whole middle section was we
Took
tried
so
to think
long.
it through, which I usually just kind of like listen and then like, okay, what
feel
am I
it.
hearing, and then kind of feel it out and go from there. But so I was
Yeah.
like trying to think too hard about it, I think, and had so many ideas and stuff, but none
Yeah.
of them worked.
Yeah.
So
It took a while.
It's a little bit frustrating.
And then we were like, how
sometimes.
about a bossa nova section? Because that's, the best we randomly could come up with. So then that happened.
And also, I'm gonna make Danny work really hard and play like a super sick like solo over
That's really
something
long.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah.
Yeah. But I love it now.
And now it's turned into like a big favorite of
Yeah.
people's too, which is cool.
Yeah, no, that's definitely one of my favorite songs off the EP for sure.
Now you know.
Yeah. I know the story behind it, yeah. It is kind of interesting because just the way that you guys all kind of answer that question is, I feel like it's very like, I feel like people who like truly appreciate music answer that question differently. Like I myself find myself, when I listen to a song, it's like, oh, I really like this part of that song. Like the drum fill of this certain song is really awesome, you know? Or the guitar bit of this certain song is super sweet. Like, and then you find that a lot in this EP too. Like the way that the bass line comes in on the very first song was like what hooked me into the EP initially. But then
That is so good to hear. Because I know, why did we never change? You guys, why did you not tell me this beginning sucks? So I'm glad to hear.
And it's funny too, because both times we played that song live, no offense, Jenna.
No,
Okay,
no,
can
it's
I say
fine.
this?
Yes,
Okay.
it's fine.
Basically,
I'll
Jenna
just
just
cry.
like Jenna just like botched the intro every time, like the 2 times we played that song live.
Every time
And
we
then
play
for
it.
some reason we like didn't ever change it still. So that's really funny that you should specifically point that out. So Jenna.
And
Paid off.
it literally was because like that was just how we started, because as we were teaching the song to people, I was like, well, I'll just start playing the line and then you can just join in and then we'll figure out the groove and then
Then we'll
it
go
just
back and fix
all of a
the
sudden
intro.
was the intro.
And then we never did. So that's funny you should say
Yes.
Yeah.
yeah, no, it's like the bass line, it's super funky, it's super simple, and it just like it hooked me, and then the vocals come in and it's like, this is interesting and unique in a way, and it's very like, I don't know, it just draws you in. And then the guitar playing, I think it's on Counterfeit Ending, but I was just like, that there's just like some little parts that it's just like very reminiscent of like Black Magic Woman. I don't know if it was the tone or something, but it's just like I don't know, you guys killed it with the EP, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, we love hearing like people's favorite parts or little things that they noticed and stuff,
Mhm.
because
Yeah.
we definitely spend a lot of time putting random, like, it's like, no, put that slide there, and like making sure that they go in specific spots, even though they're the randomest little.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we don't want things competing too much.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah,
Yeah, I
the
remember
way it kind of all comes together.
like I would we would practice it, and we would like practice like Save Me or something. So we'd practice Save Me like a couple months before recording, and I'd have like my phone on voice memo. And then after I listened to it, I would like go through it, and like there was this one part where Matthew like did this fill, and all it was he hit his ride cymbal. It was like ding, and that's like all it was. But like he did it somewhere, and I'm like, that is perfect. So then I specifically was like, do you hear this one ride hit? Can you put this in the song? And then it's like, it's in the song now, and it's still like the best thing ever. But I would do that with like, every once in a while Jenny would do like a 6 slide somewhere, and I'd be like, that's so good there. So I think both of us did that a lot too. We would like listen after we had like voice memoed it, and then find little tiny parts that somebody would play, and we'd be like, that was the best thing ever.
Or even random little mistakes that
Yeah.
you actually mean.
In my case, it was usually a mistake.
And it's like, oh, I sounded a slide. I didn't mean to. So yeah, that was something we did as well, I think.
did you guys have a lot of control over that like aspect of it, like kind of the mix down aspect of it, I guess, and like moving things around and stuff like that within the songs?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I think like when because a lot of our like writing and stuff is a lot of jamming and stuff, and then when we went into the studio, Grant was so patient with us, being like going back and doing a part because somebody missed a little pop or a little slide or a little hit or
Like the
something.
tiniest
That
thing.
was like, he's like, oh you did you want, okay, well, I'll
He's
do
like,
it again.
oh, you meant to do heavy breathing in that part?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, but then like even when we got the final mixes back, like I think there was 2 mixes that we changed, and other than that, everything was very
Mhm.
because we play together and we jam together so often. I think we're really like in tune to each other, and we're really conscious of instead like not being like, oh, we need to keep the volumes different so that you can hear the guitar over the bass. It's like, well, no, how about the bass just doesn't play nearly as much and the guitar can shine through, kind of thing. So a lot of like
Mhm.
even everything
Like
can kind of be on the
built-in.
same level, but
Yeah.
all the parts kind of work together so that they're not competing with each other.
Yeah, and if it's somebody's moment to shine, like if somebody, like I think Danny probably did something cool at one point, and all of us were like, let's not do anything there, so Danny can come through with his awesome line, stuff like that. It's kind of how we do that as well, I think. So
And we're all very honest with each other and upfront with each other when it comes to stuff like that too. So it's we're not mean to each other, but sometimes we are. But there's a lot of like, there's definitely like, I don't think we ever disagree on if somebody plays something really cool, we're like, oh, okay, everybody, like, don't do that, so that we can have this person come through.
And everybody's like, yeah, sounds good.
Someone will be playing something cool, and then all of us just look over at that person like with our mouths wide open. What did you just do?
And then, you either messed up real bad or you played something real cool, and there's no in between.
True. Same reaction for both.
I think that's like one of the best parts about playing in a band is when somebody does something cool that's unexpected, and you're all like kind of in it together and flowing together like that. It's like one of my favorite parts of like playing music with other people.
Yeah, that's nice.
Something you don't get when you're playing on your own, for sure.
Yeah, I even notice that sometimes, like, if I listen to the EP back, I'll still notice things that other people were doing that like I didn't notice the first few times that I listened to it or whatever, and I just think that's kind of fun because you just have like that there's kind of enough depth to it that you don't hear everything the first time necessarily. I just think it's kind of cool. It changes, it just kind of changes the way I listen to it a little bit.
I think what you guys kind of touched on there is like why I like your EP so much is like it's not just all the instruments playing together, it's like each individual instrument or vocal or whatever it is shines through when it's supposed to shine through, and each individual instrument has cool parts that are like, oh yeah, you can pick it out and be like, oh yeah, that was a cool part by the drums, or that was a cool guitar part or a cool bass part. Like you're not competing, I guess, for the attention of the listener.
Yes.
Yeah, that's awesome that you noticed that. That's
that
what
was
we're
the
going
goal.
for.
So it's
That's good to hear.
Yeah.
Making us feel like we maybe have an idea of what we're doing.
Kind of sometimes.
So is there kind of just any final things that you guys want to throw out there before we close this out, or?
Thank you.
Yeah.
To you for everything that you do and
thanks
for
for
doing
having
this
us.
and for inviting us on and stuff. It's fun. Hopefully we didn't ramble on.
But yeah.
Go listen to our EP.
Yeah, listen to our
we
EP.
think it's cool, and even if you don't like it, then DM us and tell us you don't like it.
And
We
tell us
still
why.
like to hear, But also, if you like it, then tell us why you like it.
Yeah, but there's definitely, we're planning on doing some live off the floor stuff soon, hopefully for some videos, which would be kind of cool. So, we're still planning and scheming and stuff. So there's definitely more coming for sure.
Doing our best until we can play live shows again to kind of still be fun and
around.
stuff,
People don't forget about us.
Yeah.
Right? But yeah, thanks for having us though.
Yeah.
Anybody else?
Yeah, and we love any info or any input into it, or hey, I really like this part, or this was really cool here, or that stuff's really helpful for us to as we go forward to be like, because sometimes we're like, oh, I'm not sure about that part, but then other people are like, oh, I love that part. You
like the bass line at the beginning.
Exactly.
Yeah, which is always cool.
Just kind of.
We're just a bunch of proud, insecure musicians, so we just need your validation.
Awesome. Well, I'll have all the links of where people can find your music, all your social media and stuff. It'll all be in the episode notes. So hopefully it'll be, if anybody does want to connect with you, it should be easy for them to find you. And yeah, thank you very much for taking the time out of your day to talk with me.
Yeah, of course. Thank you so much.
Yeah, for sure.
dance gracefully throughout the air. The shadow of a false security slips silently across the room. Cloak and dagger, they'll The art of misinterpretation. Brazen hints spin fairy tales of lies. Calm, cool, collected, cat-like medium. Smooth tongue, rehearsed and prey on the loose. Those foxy eyes, bewitching gaze. There's no hope for this This sweet deception, shallow quick glance, sidestep, sashay around the floor. Marionettes with not a thing to lose. Dictated dances strong with sweet device. Dangerous delve into the deep. Cunning charades, clever facade, another counterfeit ending.
If you like this episode of Groove Talk, why not leave a review? You can find us on iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, or pretty much anywhere that you listen to podcasts. Help us break through those evil algorithms and reach the most amount of glorious listeners that we possibly can. For up-to-date information on the show, you can follow us on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram, and you can find us at Froggy Style Productions. For more ways to support the show, visit fsproductions.ca.